Out of Space was a game that turned up on my radar last year and I didn't pay too much attention. But recently there's a bit of interest from some of the people in the 4-play community and I thought I'd pick it up and give it a go. After playing it for a bit, the only thing I can emphasise is that it's a cleaning sim. Now there has been a huge surge of games like this recently, like Power Wash Simulator, House Flipper and Unpacking, and they've never really appealed much to me. This is probably due to the fact that I know how tedious it is using a pressure hose to clean a driveway, or how boring painting a house can be. But I'm here to do an objective review, so let's jump into it. The goal here is to clean up a domestic spaceship and power up all the rooms with batteries. Starting off, you pick one of these creepy looking anthropomorphized animal characters and shoot off to your spaceship, which does look pretty good aesthetically. Each level starts you off with a mop to clean up alien goo, a bucket to transport water in, a pumpkin patch to supply food to eat, and a grinder to dispose of aliens and trash for money, plus a dog if you're going solo. There's also a shop where you can purchase additional items from when you accrue the funds. Ideally, you'd clean up a room, move on to the next one, and find a few extra bonus items along the way, some useful, some not so useful. Part of the challenge comes from leaving the alien goo for too long, which spawns eggs that hatch more aliens, vents that gradually get pent up until they spurt a chunk of goo, and gradually tougher monsters the longer you spend on a level. There's also a hunger meter that requires you to eat, and a sleep meter that requires you to sleep. Overall, it's a fairly basic concept, except it falls apart in several areas. First off is the difficulty. The normal mode varies from a solid challenge to just way too hard. Even doing one of the small maps with a friend can be incredibly frustrating due to simple things like multiple vents regurgitating goo from a part of the ship that's no longer visible, making a once clean part of the ship contaminated again. The enemies also spawn much faster, which leads to a constant grind of disposing of aliens. Switching it over to easy mode, or Zen mode as they call it, makes things much more manageable. But my gripe here is that there's items and objects that are unlocked as you proceed through the game. You shouldn't have to switch over to easy mode to unlock what I would consider essential items in the game. A sink, for example, is pretty much mandatory for anything other than a small map, but you have to unlock it first before being able to purchase it to begin with. The other major issue is the multiplayer. I might think first that the game can be a bit laggy online, but it's not an especially fast game, so it's workable. The big problem is the matchmaking. If you're playing with a friend that already has the game, it's not such a big deal, though I did have a glitch out of it during the setup phase. If you're looking for a group online, you can just forget it. There's no lobby, no chat, you can't even rejoin a game you get disconnected from. Instead, it uses the worst possible matchmaking method. Hit public game and just hope like hell somebody joins in. I did a large map once with a friend and that took over an hour to complete and we would have welcomed another player to join us. But there's no option to join a current game. Even much older games like Shell Shock Live and Sanctum 2 have a well-designed multiplayer system. There's at least a local multiplayer option which could be fun for a bit, but unless your friends came around to play this game exclusively, it'd be a short-lived pump and dump game before you'd inevitably move on to something else. In the end, I wouldn't recommend this game if you're looking for an online experience. But for those who are into the cleaning sim games, you're probably going to love it. But for those kinds of people, I'd just recommend sticking to Zen mode, and if you're lucky, find a like-minded friend to play with. And that I think wraps this one up. So thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.